Great. All right. So today's topic is how to leverage your audience to create offers that sell. That's the whole purpose as a service provider, right? Is we want to create offers that sell, programs that sell. We want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our clients and that the offers that we're creating are appealing to them. There's nothing worse than creating a program and putting all this time into it, and then it doesn't sell. Right? That happens quite often. I talk to people who are like, oh man, I spent 3 months creating this program and I've been marketing it for 3 months and I'm not getting any bites on it. And it's disappointing. You feel a little defeated. And I understand that, but there's ways to get around that. There's ways to make sure that everything you're offering as a service provider is enticing and it's something that's going to sell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some tips that I want to share with you on how to make sure that everything you're offering is enticing and it does sell for you. Because that's why we're in this industry. We want to serve. And when we're serving, we want to sell, right? So the online space, as I've talked about before, it's getting really full right now. And this time of year especially, I'm sure you're seeing ads pop up all over the place. You're seeing organic marketing, right? Social media posts that people are creating, selling their offers. I'm doing it. You know, everyone's in that right now, and it's continuous, but this time of year tends to be a little bit more heavy than others. And then you have paid ads. So if you've noticed on social media, paid ads are becoming really popular as well. You'll see that on Facebook quite a bit. I'm not confident that they work very well. I've had some mentors myself that say that they're disappointed in the results with those, but those are out there. I see them all the time. And then you also have a lot of people sending DMs, those direct messages. I probably get 10 to 12 a day of people that think they can serve me in some way, saying, oh, Rochelle, I'm a VA. Let me do this for you. I'm a web designer. Let me do this. So your audience, those that you're selling to, they're getting these every day. They're getting them constantly because it's becoming easier than ever to sell your services online and in particular on social media. Now, this is good, right? As a consumer, what's more easy than purchasing online, right? You click a button. It's great, especially, for those of us that live in a climate where it gets cold and there's snow and bad weather. You can sit in your pajamas at home and click to purchase. It's great. But as a service provider, it gets tricky because now we're competing with a full space of other service providers that are also trying to sell. So how do you stand out in all of the noise? You create offers that speak to your clients, offers that sell. Now, it sounds easy, create offers and programs that your clients want, right? How easy is that? It should be a no-brainer, but a lot of people don't get this right. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So what happens is usually one of two things or both. The service provider will create a program assuming they know what their potential clients want. They're assuming they know that if I serve this population and I solve this problem, I know what my clients want. Of course I do. If I'm a health coach, I know that my clients want to lose weight and I know the reason why, right? There's a lot of assumptions that can be made. The key though is to never make assumptions. You never want to make assumptions about what your clients want. But a lot of service providers do. And therefore they feel like they know what program to create and they know how to market it and that's going to sell like that. And it doesn't happen. So that's one thing that can do. They make assumptions. That's one mistake. Another is they just put together what their clients, what they think they need. So they forego the want and they just say, if my client wants to lose weight, this is what they need. And that's what I'm going to make. I'm going to make that program because that's what they need. But they might not want that. So even if they think, oh, I probably need that, I don't want that though. That's not the program that I want. They're not going to buy. You have to have that desire factor in there for your offer to sell. So doing these two methods of selling and marketing create two problems. Your marketing is unclear. You're not speaking to what your client actually wants. So you're spending a lot of time creating all this marketing, all this organic social media content, but it's not hitting the message that they want. Or you're creating a system that's just not appealing. Again, your methodology, your program, they might look at it and say, yeah, that might solve my problem, but I don't want it that way. I don't want it solved that way. That's not for me. So when you have others providing similar services as you, which I think we all have, there's many service providers in the same industry as all of us. What will happen is when we scroll through social media, they're going to scroll right by. They'll skim your program and they'll say, I'll keep looking. It happens very quickly. And always think of yourself as the consumer. That's what you do. So try to put that lens on once in a while. Think of yourself as a consumer. What makes you purchase a service? We've probably all purchased at least one service before. Think about why. Why did you purchase it? You didn't just randomly close your eyes and pick one on your social media feed to say, I'm going to go with that one. There was a reason behind it. Maybe it was the person. You connected with that individual. Maybe it was the program itself and you looked at the details and thought, wow, this program is perfect for me. This will get me what I want. Think about that as a consumer. What drew you to make that purchase? And keep that in front of your mind when you're making your offers and you're creating those. So now the big question is, how do I get to know what kind of services and programs my clients want? And I'm going to take you through a few different strategies on how to get this information so you can really nail your services and nail the offers that you're putting out to your potential clients. One of them, and I've already mentioned this, I think in my client attraction training, is talk to them. You got to talk to them. You got to talk to that ICA, your ideal client avatar. It doesn't have to be a long conversation. It could be 20 minutes. I actually recommend you don't book more than 20 minutes because you want people to say, oh, I can hop on a quick call. If you try to book 30 minutes, 45 to an hour, it's too much time, especially this time of year. Everyone's busy. So you want to do it in a nice, quick session that's productive. And now, what do you want to go over in these client surveys? What do you want to know? You're not just going to say, hey, what kind of offer do you want? That's not going to get you the information you need. So you have to ask them a few questions. The first is, what challenges are you facing? What's your pain point when it comes to losing weight? What's the challenge for you? How have you maybe started to make progress and then backtracked before? What got in the way of you meeting your goal before? What have you tried? Maybe it was another program that they tried and it just didn't do it for them. So this is still a challenge. This is still a pain point for them. On the flip side, what do they really want? What's that outcome that they're looking for? What's the outcome that they really want? Then, now you can ask, so if I were to create a program for you or an offer for you tomorrow, what would it look like for you? What would that ideal program look like? And what they probably will say at first, because it's happened to me, is, oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never been in a program for weight loss. I have no idea. Don't let them off the hook with that. Dig into that and say, okay, well, from a support perspective, would you want to have one-to-one meetings? Would you rather be in a group setting? And then they might say, oh, maybe both. I'd like a mix, or maybe they choose one or the other and say, okay, that's great. What time frame would you like the program to be? What do you think would be best for you? A month, 3 months? See what they think. They might say, oh, you know what? Actually, I'd really look for like a year. I want a year of support. This is a big challenge for me. Then say, okay, what kind of outcomes are you looking to get from this? And you kind of touch on that a little bit here, but get them very specific. I want to lose 20 pounds in 3 months, or I want to get better about meal prepping every single day. That's my goal. Ask them what resources they might want. Do they want access to training videos so they can watch it at their own time? What are those deliverables that they're looking for? Do they want worksheets that they can print out and keep with them at all times? What will help them get from here to here? Ask those questions. Now, when you post on social media or you reach out to your network, you might say, hey, I'd love to hop on a call with anybody who is looking to meet this goal. I'll just go on the weight loss train since I've already started there. I want to reach out to somebody who wants to, set their New Year's resolution for weight loss and more healthy eating habits. DM me if you're interested and able to chat for 20 minutes. In social media, I would go with the DM because it might be rare for someone to say, yeah, I got to lose weight and be public with that on social media, right? Some might, but more often than not, they may not be wanting to post that publicly. So say, hey, shoot me a DM. If you're not getting many responses, offer a little incentive. And the incentive doesn't have to be expensive. You don't even have to spend money to give an incentive, but a few ideas are, say, hey, I'll send you a Starbucks or Dunkin' gift card. Send them a $5 gift card for a coffee for 20 minutes of their time. They get to pick. You can send that electronically. That worked well for me. Or, and this one's a little bit more advanced, and I recommend this a little bit more actually, and I wish I had done this before. I probably will do it soon. Offer a small service. So for me, that would look like, hey, if you hop on a call with me for 20 minutes, I'll do a website audit with you. I'll look over your website live on a call with you, and I will give you feedback on what you need to enhance your website to attract more clients. They're getting a free service. It's a small one, and it's a cap at, maybe I'd say 20 minutes, maybe 30 at the most. But I'll give them 3 takeaways of, hey, these are the things you need to do to up-level your website. The reason why I say this is advanced and in my preference for each of you to do is they get a taste of you and your services. They get to see what it's like to work with you, even if it's only a small portion of time. They get to connect with you again. That might lead to a client for you, or it might put you on the radar for when they do want your services. Anytime you can get on a call or a Zoom with your potential client is a great opportunity for you. Even if it doesn't immediately result in a sale, now you're top of their mind. And it's up to you to keep warming them up and keep them there. So those are 2 incentives that I would highly recommend. Pick a very small service and offer it to them for free. Get them on a call or a Zoom. That's the best way to do it. Another way, aside from talking directly to your IC, remember, this is really number 1. This is like the gold standard right there. Try to do that one, but you can mix it up. Another way to do it is polls on social media. Almost every social media platform has a poll feature. If you use LinkedIn for your services, polls work very well with the algorithm. So I did a poll last week and it hit up 7,000 views. I only have about 900 connections on LinkedIn. So that means my poll made it to thousands of other people outside of my network, and people were voting. And now they have a sense of me. They know who I am. They know my name. Some people started following me. Polls work really well on LinkedIn. On Facebook, polls are also easy to do. The key is to choose the poll option. So it's just a click. That's all you want to make people do. No commenting, no DM me your answer for this. It's clicking a button. The only con with doing polls is you're not going to get the deep answers from them on a poll. So the questions that you're going to ask on a poll are more so about the structure of your offer. It could be, how long would you like a weight loss program to be? 1 month, 3 months, 6 months? Those are things people will openly and publicly vote on, or topics they'll vote about, because it's nothing personal. If it's a poll about, oh, what's your deepest fear about entering a weight loss program, they're not going to vote. They're not going to share that publicly. So always think about that. Polls can be good for generic information like deliverables. Hey, group versus one-to-one. What's your, what pick would you choose for a program? They'll probably vote on that. That's not personal. Would you want video training or audiobook or an ebook? They'll vote on that kind of stuff, but you're not going to get the challenges and outcomes as much because those are more personal. So that's the only downside of polls. They're better for the structure of your program, the deliverables of your program, but it's still a great option. Another thing to do is market research. So what I mean by market research is start digging into your competitors and what they're doing. Start looking at other service providers in your industry. Look at other websites of these service providers. When you do that, you want to look for a few things. You want to look for what do their programs look like? What are they offering? Do they do group? Do they do one-to-one? How long are they offering it for? What's the outcome that they're promising? What's their marketing statement? Hey, I'll help you lose 30 pounds in 60 days. What is that statement that they're sending and they're putting out there for their prospective clients? Look into their pricing. Not everybody has their pricing on their website, but if they do, look at that. And what you want to do is you want to try to capture at least 10 people to start. And you want to create an Excel spreadsheet so you can compare all of these people and have all the data in one place. Because you're going to go back to that. And as you're creating your offer, your program, you're going to look and pick that apart and say, okay, 5 out of 10 people only do group, or everybody does one-to-one, or their pricing is way higher than mine or way lower. Maybe they have some really cool deliverables that you never thought about. And you're like, hey, I could probably tweak that and do something similar. Look at their testimonials. Always go to that testimonial page and pick out what their previous clients are saying. It could be something like, oh, Karen did an awesome job training us on this topic. Or I really loved the library vault of training videos. That tells you that they have a training vault of videos and that got good feedback. It could be, oh my gosh, the length of the training was perfect. I was able to accomplish my goals. Look and see what that length of the training was. There's so much market research that can be done by looking at your competitors and what they're doing, and then looking at their testimonials and determining whether that worked or not. So always pick apart some of that stuff. And when you're doing that and you're building your Excel spreadsheet and you're seeing all this data and you're comparing people, what you're going to find is as you're getting feedback from your ICA surveys or your polls, you're learning what your ideal clients want, and you're seeing what your competitors are offering, and you're going to notice the gap, right? You're going to find the gap. And that gap is the difference between what your ICAs are telling you they want and what your competitors are offering. And now it's your job to fill that gap. Let's say that your ICAs are saying, I want a combination of group and one-to-one calls. I want it 3 months, and I want training videos every week. That's what they're telling you directly that they want. You're looking at your competitors, they only offer group, no one-to-one support. Or maybe they don't do any video training. Fill the gap. Find out what the difference is between the two data sets, the ICAs and the competitors, and fill that gap, and then market that you fill that gap. There's always a gap, big or small, there's always something. Clients are always looking for different ways of achieving their goals. And your competitors might not have caught up to those ideas yet. So it's your job then to do that. Go find out what that is and market it. Now, lastly, another way to find out what would make a great offer? Ask your previous clients. This is an easy one. They could be previous clients, or they could even be clients that you've been working with for a while. Ask them for their feedback. What did they like about your program? What were those highlights? What really made the program successful for them? Was it the support they got? Was it deliverables that they got? Education you provided? Try to get them to be specific too. Don't, if they say, oh, I just love the program, dig in and say, okay, well, what about it though? What made it? What made this a different experience for you that made it successful? And then this is a little more difficult to get this information, but on the flip side, what would they have changed? What was something that could be improved? And I'm telling you, they might not be fully comfortable saying this, especially if they're still a current client, but as you get to know these individuals and you form relationships, say, hey, this is for me. This is to benefit me. I want to make sure that my programs are serving my clients in the best way possible. This feedback is so important to me. You're not hurting my feelings. You're helping me grow. Remind them of that. You're going to help me grow and serve better. So any feedback you can provide is appreciated. Nothing is personal. It's business when it comes to this. So get that feedback and then use the feedback, especially keep track of it. Keep track of all that feedback over time, and you'll notice trends. You'll notice the highlights that everyone is saying, this was an awesome piece of this program. And you might notice trends of, hey, this could have been maybe a little different. Instead of doing this, maybe I would have liked this more. Those trends are important because you want to continuously be evolving your program. One more thing I want to also mention. Facebook groups. If you're not joined, I know you're all in my Facebook group, but if you're not in any other Facebook groups, I highly recommend joining them. Join Facebook groups where your ideal clients hang out. And the reason you want to do this is for a few things. First of all, you'll get a glimpse at your competitors, right? You're going to get a glimpse at who else is in your space. So that gives you people that you can research, dig into their websites, their Facebook profiles. That's an easy way to get that information. But what's really cool about Facebook groups is you're going to see questions that are asked by your clients or your ideal clients. They're going to be open about, what's the best way to meal prep, or what's the best way to hit my protein goal for the day? So you're going to see these questions. And as you notice trends with those questions, that should be a trigger to you. Oh, that's something I need to do a training on, or I should post content about that. A lot of people are asking about this, which means a lot of people are struggling with it. Maybe I make a very small mini program or a 3-day training on this. Get to know what they're struggling with by just reading comments. You don't have to join every Facebook group. There's a lot out there. Join maybe, 5 to 10 to start, but make sure they're very active ones. Make sure they're ones that have posts every day. And just look at the comments. Spend 15 minutes a day just scrolling through, looking at comments, looking at questions. You'll get some information from there. Now, once you've got all this information, this is like gold, right? Now you know what your clients want. This is the good stuff. Now you got to use it. And the best way to use this information, it's the only way I'll say to use this information, is to not now turn this into your own language. As service providers and experts in our field, it's so common to say, okay, I got all this information, but now I'm going to reword it so I can sell it. Don't reword it. Keep it in their language. Because what's going to happen is if you reword it and you want to make your marketing message fancy and jazzy, it's not going to resonate anymore. Use their language, use the words that they provided, use the words that they used to describe their challenge, their dream outcome. Don't change the wording. You want to talk to your ideal client, so you got to use their language. Like I said, this is gold. They're serving you this gold, and you took time to get this. Don't try to morph it into something else. And in your marketing message and in all your marketing material, when you're going out and trying to now sell this brand new program or offer that you've taken time to put together, make sure you're always taking them from pain to dream. You want to remind them of what their pain is. What's their challenge? And then you want to show them, here's the outcome I can get you. Here's the dream. I'll take you from here to here. But that's not where you want to stop. And this is where a lot of people stop. Pain to dream. Fill in the middle. How? How do you take them from pain to dream? And this is where you talk about that program you just made. What's your methodology? What's that framework, that program that you're going to help get them from here to here? Because I'll tell you what, they're going to see a lot of this all day long in social media, in their DMs. Oh, I'm a health coach and I can help you lose 30 pounds in 20 days. That's a marketing message that people will use. But when they see that, it's like, okay, but there's 50 other coaches that do that. They want to know how. This is what matters to them. It's great that you're going to get them from here to here, but the how is what's going to separate you from your competition. That's your secret sauce, I like to call it. That's your secret method. That's what differentiates you. That's where you call out the gap in the market that you fill, what your competitors aren't doing. That's where you get to explain that. Try to be concise. Sometimes our programs are filled with a lot of detail. Try to narrow it down to what's most important. You don't have to give them the whole list of everything, but use this information to talk about what's important and market that. You can always explain more on a call, or you can say, hey, look at my website. All the information is there. But when you're just marketing and you're doing social media posts, you don't have to lay everything out. Lay out the enticing stuff that they told you that they want, the outcomes and those deliverables that they want. So pain to dream, but fill in that how. What's the support that's provided? What are those deliverables that make you different? Those are all things that you want to make sure that you include. Do this at least once or twice a week as a direct offer. Call to actions. You should always have a call to action on your social media posts. But make sure at least once a week you're doing a direct offer. Hey, sign up for my program. Here's some details. If you want to learn more, book a call with me using this link. And again, you don't have to lay out everything. Make sure it's the enticing pieces. As experts in our field, another thing that we tend to do is lay out what we know they need. And sometimes we leave out the dream and the outcome that they want. Always use their language and always make sure that you're marketing to what they're saying they want. Even if it's leaving out some things you know they need, if it's not something desirable to them, don't market it. Put it in your program, knowing that you're gonna do that deliverable or that level of service with them. But if they don't want it and they said they didn't desire it, don't make that all of your marketing. Because again, they're gonna be like, I don't really want that. Maybe I need it, but it's not something that sticks out to me. When they get in your program, you'll explain why they need it and you'll do it with them. But you don't need to highlight that because it takes away from all the things that they said they already want. All right, I'm going to unmute everybody so I can start taking any questions. Let's see, whoops. So feel free to unmute yourselves. if anybody wants to get on and ask any questions. Can you unmute yourselves? Is it giving you that option? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. There we go. Does anybody have any questions at all about anything that I've gone over so far? I know that was a lot of information in a half hour. Feel free to jump right on.
I just want to make a comment. This is awesome.
Oh, good.
Very, very good information. I like the way you work it. You know, this is kind of not necessarily reversal, but a different way of approaching.
Awesome.
You know,
Thank you.
Yeah, very valuable. I keep taking little screenshots so I can read your whiteboard later.
Oh.
That's how I take notes. I'm pretty lazy that way, but yeah, this is great.
It's efficient. I like that. That's being very efficient.
Yes.